is going to be the Drop Roppers against Chicken Dinner. This is a matchup against two teams that have lost their first set in pool number H1. So here we go straight into the action. Let's take a look at the compositions and what are we seeing to start out?
We're seeing a good heavy right now and an E-leader. I think the heavy will have a difficult time with the E-leader, but hopefully they can shut out and very, very much put pressure on the E-leader, because that's the only winning so far. One down to go.
Well, Mud Cup for Chicken Dinner is playing a weapon after my own heart, and that is the Tri-Slosher. That's actually going to help them make a two-down situation against the Drop Roppers here, as although the Drop Roppers were able to get the first start on the zone here, they're starting to build up some momentum, which changes things over in Chicken Dinner's favor. Not many specials left, as it's a 3v situation now.
Hopefully they can give a good shutout right here on Chicken Dinner. Hopefully, there's two down. Hopefully, they can clear that way. And right now, they need immense pressure to get back in the zone or even claim it themselves.
Yeah, good job by the Drop Roppers. I mean, Chicken Dinner has quite an aggressive composition here. They have a junior, which really needs to be up in people's faces in order to get those splats, and also to help it, in a sense, to build up that bubbler, which it does have, in addition to things like the Splash-O-Matic with that crab, and the Tri-Slosher, of course, with Inkjet, but they're still powering through the zone. They're past the halfway point. The crab is actually going to go down, and we see the Wave Breaker in mid starting to get taken out. Only Slimy there looks to have been marked, and the Drop Roppers, again, continue this offense against arguably maybe the more aggressive composition.
Chicken Dinner really needs to synchronize with their specials right now, because that's their only way of getting it. They have one last push. Can they uncap the zone? They might be able to. Only the 52's down, but it looks like they're fighting for their lives, and maybe Drop Rollers can clear the zone, and they're about to win. Yes?
And that'll do it. The only thing they could do at that point was try and jump into their teammates who were very visible. There is the ability to stealth jump in the game, but it's not completely invisible at all ranges, so you really have to be careful. That's going to be a first game win here for the Drop Roppers and a pretty nice establishment of how they want this set to go. Now, I mentioned earlier that Chicken Dinner had a pretty aggressive composition. That is not to say that the Drop Roppers did not have a very similar strategy, and as we've seen through the meta so far, shooters and chargers are dominant.
Yes, very much. I've seen a lot of chargers this tournament. If you do not have a charger, you need to make sure that you're pressuring their charger, that you're being annoying. You need to special spam them. And it's not very optimal to flank, but if you can, depending on the map situation, you may as well. But a lot of the times, you really need a hard focus on that charger. And I don't think it particularly was a charger this match. I think it was just synchronization. They had specials, but slowly they got picked off one of the other and started staggering. And it's a simple issue that can be fixed. You get specials, you time them perfectly well together, you get the charger down, and it's an easy capping on the zone.
Now, there are a total of 15 specials in Splatoon 3, and I mentioned this in a previous broadcast where Splatoon 2 had the same number of specials, but 5 of those were different variants of bomb launchers, so it really feels like there's a lot more variety here. We're going to tower control on Undertow Spillway. I know Undertow, kind of a divisive map in terms of whether folks like it or not. Very interested to see for tower control what these teams opt to bring. On the side of Chicken Dinner, they haven't really adjusted much at all, but we have a try-v-try matchup, and these comps, with the exception of the anchors, are almost identical.
That Tri-Slosher Mud Cup is going to have to be very, very cautious of E-leaders sniping them down, because they can be an easy pick while they're inkjetting. But it looks like they're getting a good amount of map right now. All they need to do is just get a good pick on Vic right here, and they can push in.
I have yet to mention, too, some of the members of Chicken Dinner are very, very long-standing members of the community. You have folks like Tim, as we see a bomb take them out there. Tim, a veteran from Splatoon 1, coming back to lands, and we have lots of folks like that at the big house here. So we haven't seen all that much movement. Both of these teams still fighting for that raised middle platform. We also see the Wave Breaker go out as we see a collateral shot there. What a beautiful snipe from the E-leader as the tower is going to push ever forward here for the Drop Roppers.
It's always great to get a 2-for-1 special right there. And it looks like Mud Cup is getting 2 picks off as well. Getting picked off themselves. And right now they need turf coverage. They're pushing the tower, but they need a lot of turf coverage to push in and make sure that the Splatling cannot walk around.
Froppy trying as hard as they can to make the RNG work on their favor. Of course, jumping makes it a little bit more spread out, but also helps you be a bit more versatile. They finally are able to get the splat and find someone up near that sniper point, and that is a lot of momentum yet again as they pass near that checkpoint. There are 3 total checkpoints for the tower on this map. Fuchsia pushing up as well with that inkjet. A lot of people were concerned about when they saw the Tri-Slosher had that kit. Seems like for both these teams, it's worth the pick.
Right now, it's a backline on backline, and they're easily getting their good picks. Either staying on, either down actually, but if the Eeler stayed on the tower, they would have been a huge, huge advantage for drop rollers.
Going forward now, the tower seems to be stuck yet again at a checkpoint as finally Chicken Dinner may be getting some control in mid, but on the opposite side of things, the drop Ropper is able to force a full wipeout, and now the first one out is going to be the Tri-Slosher. It's going to be Mudcup doing the best that they can. Slimy all the way distracting Ash, but Ash able to pick them up. Now again, we're back at that tower checkpoint. Can they get back on the tower and move things forward? Finally, Chicken Dinner. I want to remind you guys, there's still more than half of the time remaining in this match, but knockouts are very much a thing, and the drop Roppers are gunning for one.
Right now, it's just the E-leader down. They need to get as much coverage as you can. And with that, yeah, the E-leader's down. They need to go in. Mudcup really needs to be pressuring on and be annoying as possible, because that way it'll get the tower way up ahead and Vic can stay on there.
Yeah,
but
speaking of Vic, I mean, that is a popular strategy, is it not, to have your anchor on that tower.
so far, Mudcup is going in with it and down as quickly as possible, but it looks like Drop Roppers has to back up a bit, and Chicken Dinner.
That being said, Chicken Dinner does lose 2 there. The only special they have at their disposal is going to be the bubbler from that junior. Mudcup going to get splatted as well. And now Vic trying to take a little bit more territory there. That's one of the main differences in this composition. The heavy splatling versus the E-Leader, which has just so much unbelievable range. Nice spot there. It ends up being a trade between Fuchsia and, of course, the Ash there on that Slimy trying to push forward as well, as that tower once again getting stuck at a checkpoint, although finally some forward momentum and progress here for Chicken Dinner. So interesting the way that this map is basically split into halves right down the middle, and the ink really tells that story.
Yeah, Ares has so much coverage over everyone right now, and getting really good picks, taking down the Smiling, taking down Mudcup, getting good picks for Drop Roppers right now, and easily can take it back for Chicken Dinner. They just need to get coverage. They need to get the E-leader down. Right now, their E-leader is just shutting them out, and it's very, very difficult to get them out of there, but hopefully they can.
Eris trying to do what they can. The Wave Breaker special, of course, marking any opponent that it hits and doing a sizable amount of damage, 45, so almost half. But also, both teams have the 52 gal, which we haven't mentioned yet, as Vic gets a nice pick there on Froppy, which can place up that splat wall and provide a lot of instant coverage that could only really be broken by sustained fire or a bomb. We see now Chicken Dinner pushing all the way forward here. The Tri-Slosher trying to get a pick, and that's an important one there on Froppy that takes them off the high ground. That's going to be a double kill there on Eris, looking for the triple right out of spawn, and they get it, causing the wipeout. That's also going to be the lead. Chicken Dinner able to come all the way back from a differential of 8 points to get all the way to the end and knock out the Drop Roppers to tie this set.
Honestly, what a great play right there by Mudcup in the end. He did exactly what they needed to do. Be annoying as possible, shut out the E-leader, shut out any other of the frontliners too, and they're able to get the lead so quickly.
So this set is nowhere near over. This is, of course, going to be a best of 5, remember. So lots to play here. At least 2 more map mode combinations in our set list are going to be going forward here. That was such an interesting match on, again, a map that people feel very differently about. As a Charger player yourself, you saw the difference in anchors there. Do you think that lent itself to the way this match turned out? And how would you proceed going forward for both these teams?
Well, again, yeah, if you are a Charger and you're out there and your team has every coverage, someone's watching your back, someone's making sure that, okay, no one is rushing me, we're good, and be persistent as possible, and also annoying on tower. If an E-leader's on tower, they have so much range to kill you and snipe you out, but they were able to get Vic to push a little bit forward and one staying on tower, so that way it's putting a little bit pressure on the E-leader, like, okay, I have to back up now because the Splatling is now rushing me and the tri-slosher.
Well, these two teams are split right down the middle. I mean, half of their compositions mirror each other in that last game, it was really a try-v-try battle. We also had the 52s, as I mentioned, to put up those splash walls, and then, of course, the anchor positions as well. But what about in the short range? We have a splatter shot versus a junior, two very different play styles where the Splattershot Junior can ink so much and get that special so quickly, but again, we have the Splattershot with that devastating Trizuka, and we'll have to see as we go into our third map mode combination whether that retains its shape as we move on to Rainmaker Hammerhead Bridge.
It might be an easy pot for Drop Roppers right here, but hopefully Chicken Dinner can come back from it.
So it looks as though the Drop Roppers have moved away on this map from the Tri-Slosher. Mudcup, using their signature weapon, is going to retain it. The main difference here, we see a Bloblobber now, and if I remember correctly, the Bloblobber with that Ink Storm special, it is something that can do a very good job at passively painting, especially on a yet another vertical map such as this one.
Drop Roppers have to back up right now because as a 3v3, they're easily losing their teammates right now because of Mudcup. Mudcup, just super aggro from the last game, is ready to go in, make sure the teammates are fine, and be the frontliner.
That is the offensive edge they needed, and you'll notice the Splattershot Junior was actually the one to pick up the Rainmaker, so that's an entire different discussion on who picks up the Rainmaker. Is it just whoever has the best opportunity, as we see Chicken Dinner go 3 down after a pretty good push to 53? Who do you elect as a team to be that Rainmaker carrier, and can you make it consistent? That's a big question each team has to answer.
Very complicated and very situational in each map and each mode, each area, but right now they are getting extremely pressured. Chicken Dinner needs to tell Drop Roppers to back off a little bit, but they're getting picked off slowly.
I like the patience here from Throppy. The Rainmaker carrier needs to be sort of the furthest back in order to have the ability to push in and not have to worry about inking the map themselves. That's going to be the Splattershot Junior going down on the side of Chicken Dinner. Now it's a 3v3 situation as they bank the Rainmaker right on that checkpoint. That's one of the biggest changes in the modes from Splatoon 2 to 3 is you now have to hit a Rainmaker checkpoint and not just take it all the way to that very end pedestal, which gives both teams a bit of a breather and a chance to recuperate, which is exactly what's happening now.
Even back then when Fuchsia was pushing the Splatling with their Zipcaster, they were able to get 2 off of the Rainmaker and get their checkpoint, which is a very, very good distraction happening right now. But they're unable to as they're getting very picked off quickly from Chicken Dinner.
Yeah, Rainmaker's going to go down there. Mudcup takes that trade, I have to believe, every day of the week. Although it looks like at least 1, if not 2, are going to be taken out by the pop of the Rainmaker shield. That does a substantial amount of damage if you're within the radius of it. And that will be a wipeout on the side of Drop Roppers against Chicken Dinner. They're going to take the lead. The Rainmaker carrier here going to avoid 2 splat bombs while their team takes down the splat wall. And they've done a fantastic job of painting the pedestal. Nice patience there as the Rainmaker carrier is going to take down Mudcup as well. They may have had an opportunity to push forward there, and I worry if it's too late. They've lost 2, if not 3 of their members, and they're the last one alive, and that will be the case. Tim is going to go down at the Rainmaker shot, but that could have been a knockout right there, and maybe a lost opportunity, although for now, a sizable lead on the side of Drop Roppers.
The Rainmaker there was scared of the Splatling in the right corner, but sometimes you just have to go push forward and try to get a KO, even if it's just 1 point. But right now, Drop Roppers is not letting go of this. They are still pushed in, ready to go in, and they're slowly getting picked off right now. Either has to back off and make sure they're a safe jump for their teammates, and Mudcup might not let them.
Some say the best defense is a good offense, and Drop Roppers were definitely attempting that strategy before. I think that's a smart jump out there from Eris. That's a common strategy among anchor players, especially Chargers, if they feel pressure to retain what special they've built up. As you see the special meter there in the top right-hand corner. Looks like it's going to be Tim picking up the Rainmaker and attempting to push forward to it. Vaic doing a great job mowing people down with that heavy splatling, pardon me, and they have a couple people marked. That's going to make it that much more easy for them to get a couple of picks. That's 2 down, looking for the third with the Trizuka. They're not going to find it as they get pressured by the Rainmaker, but they do apply enough pressure to stop that push with just over a minute left.
When they're up on that podium right now, their biggest challenge is that A-leader. If they somehow take that A-leader down with a Trizuka or in any other special, they can get that push and get that easy lead if they felt like it.
But here comes Fuchsia. They were trying to make something happen with that Zipcaster special. It's so tough to get in while being unnoticed, and they were not able to in that case. Tim pushing back now to pop the Killer Whale 5.1, which is one of the only global specials in the game here. They're able to also retreat back and get some more map control on the right-hand side. Meanwhile, on the left side of the map, or now our right, Smiley attempting to get out, but they were backed into a corner. Tim doing a great job of pressuring them, and now it's going to be a race to see if Chicken Dinner can even pop the Rainmaker shield. As you can see, Roppers had it ballooned up. A lot of teams will just leave it ballooned like that, and will it be enough, or will we see a last-second push here?
Right now, they have to be immense pressure on and rush the Charger as much as possible, or even get anyone else. Just one small little pick, and they're able to get into their good push.
Ash is going to be the designated Rainmaker pusher here. Mudcup was on the Inkjet, but they've gone down, I believe, to Smiley. Tim attempting to flank, and they've done that. They've gotten the KO. They get another one down. It's going to be a 4v2, and they're trying to make it happen, but it looks like a beautiful snipe from the Roppers is going to end things. I believe that to be Eris holding things down. That's exactly why you call them the anchors, because they hold it down for your team. And in another close game, Roppers this time coming back to take the win and are one away from the set win.
Again, there at the very end, E-Leader was up with another teammate, and you have to take down the Charger, because that Charger will get an easy snipe on the Rainmaker no matter what's happening.
But boy, is that tough on a map like that. I mean, the redesigned Hammerhead Bridge retains a lot of that verticality that the map has without a lot of height, so you have a very difficult time getting back there to access the Charger. And even the places that you can do that, they're so easily just blocked out or guarded by one of your mid to short range teammates. So as we move on to our fourth map mode combination, that's going to be something that Chicken Dinner has to look out for. And I think, again, Mudcup, that's one of their best components in playing that aggressive advantage. I would say Tim, same thing there. But we also have Vic, and that is the Anchor v Anchor matchup. What does Chicken Dinner have to do to hopefully take this one to a game 5?
Honestly, if Mudcup is this aggressive and getting this many good picks, they have to back them up. They have to pop off specials. Tim has to make sure that, okay, when we're pushing in, I have to whale here. Because Killer Whale is actually really optimal, especially for push-ins. If they go another Killer Whale, any one of their whales will kill at least one or two, no matter what push-in.
And I mean, the kit on that weapon, the 52 gal, is so oppressive. There's no wonder that it's been a favorite among players. I hear the players speaking of in the lobby about to ready up for game 4. Roppers hoping to close it out here. Their tournament dreams on the line as we see Chicken Dinner as well for their composition, keeping it mostly the same. We still have Ash on that Splattershot Junior, Mudcup on the try, and of course, for the Roppers, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Of course, always my favorite map with my favorite mode, Clam Blitz. Hopefully someone could get a super clam easily, get 1 or 2 picks, especially the E-Leader. The E-Leader here is their main challenge.
I would say, in speaking to a lot of players, the game does feel very fast, and you have to ensure that 2 or 3 down situation, which Chicken Dinner has secured already as the Octobrush and Splattershot went down. Here's that Killer Whale 5.1 that you mentioned pushing forward, and Tim unabashedly being both the painter and the guard as they throw those remaining clams to Ash. Are they trying to get that power clam in? While they're doing that, they were unable to. It looks like they weren't close enough or just missed the throw, and that untimely mistake is going to help cause a 3-down situation forced by the Roppers onto Chicken Dinner, and that's going to end that push before it even begins.
That was actually a really smart play with having the bubbler there and making sure, like, okay, you have the clams, but unfortunately they went down so quickly and they couldn't make their push back. And right now, Roppers is making their push with their super clam, and they have a lot of coverage here.
Nice flank there again by Tim. They're going to be splatted, though, by Froppy, who's going to attempt to move forward here with their own 52 gal. Unfortunately, sort of like an echolocation, the power clam does spot them out. That makes them, as you see here on your screen, visible to your opponents. However, if you're distracted by that, you may not see, in this case, the Octobrush coming, and that's exactly what happens as we play the neutral game here in mid. Both teams just looking for that right opportunity. The difference is we have the Zipcaster available for the Octobrush. The only thing available on the opposite side of things is going to be the bubbler, and that will mostly, I would think, be safe for any attempted push.
Yeah, Fuchsia here is being as annoying as possible what they're supposed to be doing as a brush, and it's honestly getting them great access to whatever they want. But right now, Chicken Dinner is making their small little push, but it's just a splatting right now, and they have to back up, or else they're going to get picked off.
Ash not going to miss the throw that time, and they played that bubble quite smartly, even though it was, as you mentioned, a relatively small push, getting just a few clams in after the power clam. Nice splat there by Fuchsia as they performed the role of the Octobrush very well, of just getting that splat and using the excellent mobility to get out. We spectate errors here. Well, there's also a Trizuka coming out, not able to find any picks from what I can see. So again, we move to the neutral game. But Roppers, amidst all of this, and even amidst Chicken Dinner having the lead here, are doing a great job of painting in mid.
Honestly, right now, Chicken Dinner needs to get rid of any one of two picks, either the 52 or the Charger, whatever one it could be. But they have to get specials. They really, really need to get specials to push back in to counter any one of the other team.
I know you know this, that as a Charger player, you have to play your angles so carefully. You can see the line of fire there if you're not hiding it behind a box in some regard. As you're a Splatling player, you don't have to worry about that, and that's going to help with forcing that 3-down situation against the members of the Roppers. So yet another push coming out. It's going to be Tim this time throwing in the power clam, and Ash going to be helping the situation here. They've extended their lead by about double here, now up to 42. Doesn't look like there's anyone in a position, although Mudcup is somewhat close. However, they don't have the clams available. Still, getting that from 71 to 42 with just a minute and a half left, that's pretty strong.
While they were pushing in, they could have easily taken down the Charger on that right corner right there, but they were able to back off and push in with their teammates back in. Airs going down as well, but hopefully Fuchsia here can get a good pick, and unfortunately won't.
Such a difficult special to manage. I feel like it runs out so quickly, and if you mismanage your timer, can't hit one of your jumps, then you're going to be hard-paced to get one of those picks off. However, we see Tim here unleashing that Killer Whale 5.1 in a 3v3 situation. Ash yet again doing such a great job of farming up that bubbler and having it ready. There's that paint that I was talking about. It's now shifted in Chicken Dinner's favor. Tim trying to get the pick on the Charger here, and they're not going to be able to find anything, but sometimes just backing them off is enough. The Trizuka now going to come out. That's going to be an early splat on said Trizuka by Tim. Now trying to look for the right opportunity to push forward. They don't necessarily need to, but if a 3-down situation presents itself, why not move forward?
Right now, they're going to get a pretty good push. Can they close this off and get the lead and get a knockout?
They already had that lead. They've extended it down from 42 to 8. That would be just 3 power clams, but as that was a wipeout of the side of Roppers, they now have that push stopped. The overtime for Clam Blitz can be notoriously long, so folks, this match may not be over. The Roppers still looking to end this one early. They have 17 total clams at their disposal, and as a reminder in this game, you only need 8 in order to form a power clam. Overtime has officially started. The Killer Whale 5.1 coming out on the side of Chicken Dinner. On the other side of things, the Wave Breaker. Now 2 power clams are at the ready, and now is the time to make that push. They break the barrier for the first time in this game. Unable Frappias to avoid that bomb, and now it's just 1 left. It's going to be the splatter shot. Can they move forward? They get it all the way to 60, but it looks like it will not be enough. Brilliant defense played by Chicken Dinner, and we're going to a game 5.
Excellent execution at the very end right there. What a great push. They're able to get in. And honestly, they made great use of synchronizing together and popping the specials and making sure they're knowing that bubbler play, honestly, great. It is so optimal to have bubbler right next to the podium where you're supposed to be throwing in your clams, so that way anyone can jump in. With a super clam can just jump in and throw and not get killed before they can throw their super clam.
And I'll tell you, if you're not watching your positioning on a map like Eeltail Alley, where there is a bridge that goes across basically the majority of the map, if you put your bubbler in the wrong spot, it's going to be super small instead of, you know, the size that it actually should be. So you have to be quite cautious because that ceiling can be a lot lower to your head than you think. So with that being said, it looks like our Game 5 will be played on Scorch Gorge, and it will be, once again, Splat Zones. How does Splat Zones change the dynamic of what these teams who are now tied want to do here?
This map is just so egregiously annoying if you have a machine, especially if they are underneath your edge on your plat and your corners. They can be as annoying as possible and lock you out. Also, you need to have the team to go down either by 3 or 2 so you can cap the zone. The zone is unbelievably giant in this map.
I mean, the machine, a weapon we haven't talked about yet. The sloshing machine, one of the most dominant weapons of the early life cycle of Splatoon 3, with that kit of Fizzy Bomb and Booyah Bomb doing a great job at painting, being a strong mid-range weapon, and also I feel like having rather large hitboxes when hitting opponents. That in and of itself is a lethal combination, and one that, as you mentioned, might be worth picking up.
Yeah, honestly, but so far what we've seen, the Charger, the Splatling, the Pen Attack, Spotter Shot, and Mud Cup on the Tri-Slosher, they have a lot of good specials right now just for the zone.
Well, lots of important decisions to be made here. It is going to be Game 5 between these two teams, the Roppers and Chicken Dinner, both of them looking to make it out of Redemption into Showdown. And the main change that I see here is that we are seeing, instead of that Tri-Slosher, Mud Cup moving over to what I think is another very strong weapon in this meta, the Splash-O-Matic. And you can see the kit there, Burst Bomb, which the Tri-Slosher used to have, so Mud Cup will be very familiar with it, and the Crab Tank.
Roppers right now rushing and so quickly in Chicken Dinner. Did not expect that at all, but it looks like they're trading off right now. And Ropper should be able to push in and just lock Chicken Dinner out for the rest of the game. But too many are in mid right now as they're just throwing in bombs.
You may have heard the expression, too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the broth, but the broth is looking mighty tasty right now as we see a crispy snipe there, and on top of that, Fuchsia, if nothing else, being a distraction, using that Zipcaster to get in to where the members of Chicken Dinner were spawning. The zone has gone all the way past 40 here, and if not careful, the Chicken Dinner might get locked out. Mudcup using the alternate fire of that Crab Tank to try and get away. Meanwhile, Slimy attempting to throw bombs at them from the side of the map. The Wavebreaker also out. It's a plethora of specials, but between all of that, Chicken Dinner's 2 down. It's now just 1. Mudcup, I don't think, can paint all that way, and it's a full wipeout. The last game of the set is arguably the most dominant one, and Roppers able to take Game 5 in dominant fashion.
What a beautiful execution there. As soon as the E-Leader set up in mid, on top of that tower right there, they were easily locking out everybody else. What a wonderful synchronized team this is.